Well, Happy New Year, everybody. If you're just coming online, we've had several join in the last couple of minutes. We're grateful you're with us. Welcome. Today we've got some great training by Michael Huggins. Here's a guy that just knows how to apply things in his life. He is someone you can depend on. He is someone that, you know, I think of the first time I ever met Michael, and I've shared this before, but for you new folks, and a reminder for you old folks, the first time I ever met Michael, he says, "Here, give me your phone." And he put his contact information in. Now, I had heard of Michael for, the prior few weeks, and this was the first time I had met him. And so he was kind of the celebrity almost in my life, this guy you really look up to. And he put the information in, and he says, "Now I put it in here for you to use it. Call me if you've got questions." And I thought, wow, that is so amazing. I mean, he's so approachable, ready to answer questions, and showing his willingness to be active in my life and in my business, and I appreciated that. He's someone that it's been fun to watch. He has grown since then. I've been in Renatus for coming up 3 years in February already, and what a change it's been in my life. The changes in Michael's life are even more astounding. He went from working at Jiffy Lube and Sears Automotive Centers and living in his girlfriend's mother's unfinished basement with sheets for walls. And he took a hold of this opportunity. He was excited to do something that would change his life. He didn't have a lot of time working 2 jobs. That doesn't give you a lot of free time. But he'd take his breaks and his lunch hours, and he'd get home and study well into the night. And then he applied what he was working or what he was learning. He shared with his coworkers, and they joined, and his life has changed immensely. And not the least of which is he married his girlfriend. She's now his beautiful wife, Vanessa, and we look up to them. And Michael, we're glad you're with us this morning. Good morning, sir. Michael, good morning. It appears that Michael's having problems logging on this morning. I don't see him logged on yet. If you're hearing me, Michael, go ahead and shoot me a text. In the meantime, does somebody have something they'd like to share from 2018 that's changed their life, even just a little bit? We'd love to hear about it. So jump off mute and share. Don't be shy.
Hey, what's going on, Ron?
How are you?
What's going on, my man? This is Charlotte Graham out here in Colorado.
Charlotte, it's good to hear from you.
Absolutely. Good to hear from you as well. I appreciate you always being of service to us, always, being on time and, making sure that we start our call the right way. We definitely appreciate you, and I'm truly grateful for you.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir. I would say the one thing that has changed my life through Renatus, is, believe it or not, the teachings of Michael Huggins. Out in, January 20th, 2018, when I was in Atlanta, Michael came out and he did his Super Saturday training, went down in history, the longest Super Saturday training ever. And yeah, he answered all of our questions. He was super gracious with his knowledge, and, just implementing a few of his teachings, it's really has helped me mentally as well as in my business. And, it carries over to my IMAs, it carries over to all my guests, because they feel the confidence, they feel that my mindset has changed, they feel, they just feel it in everything that I'm saying. So yeah, that's one thing that has changed my life. That Super Saturday right there.
Awesome, Charlotte. Charlotte, yeah. Charlene or Charlin?
Charlene.
I appreciate it, Charlotte. I appreciate you coming off and sharing that with us. And it's fun I got to meet you at Woody Woodward's treatment a little bit ago, and that was great. And it's good to hear from you again this morning.
Most definitely. I thank you again, my friend. And I look forward to hearing the next success story.
Awesome. Who else would like to come off mute and share with us for a moment? something neat that's happened in 2018.
Hey, Ron.
Yes, sir. This
This
sounds
is
like
Pete Smalley calling. How you doing? In
Pete,
Salt Lake City.
good to hear from you. What's going on this morning, sir?
Hey, this year my dad fell and broke his leg in 3 places. He's 80 years old now. And because Renaissance Education and the team that we're working with, I was able to get a seller financed home only a mile away from my dad's house so I could take care of him in his old age. Would never be able to do without my education.
That is a good story, Pete. I'd heard that and I'd forgotten that, but it still it brings up goosebumps on my arms. That is a neat resource that you've had and you put to use your education with Renatus, and it has blessed you and your father. And I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you, and thanks for being here every day, Ron. I really appreciate you. I know Michael Huggins is smiling out there somewhere.
I know what he's probably having technical difficulties getting back on the line. Anybody else got something to share with us?
Yes, how are you? This is Newton. I'm right out of Brooklyn, New York on Hughes Rescue's team. How are you?
Newton, good morning. Good. How's everything in Brooklyn?
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's the thing that helped me in 2018. I mean, I just got started in April.
Okay.
And then I set a goal to pay my kids out of my business. And by August, I started paying the children out of the business. It's amazing, amazing.
Wow, that is awesome. I mean, you are building something that is going to hopefully go beyond generations in the end, right?
That's my goal. That's my goal. Thank you so much. This educational service is amazing. I didn't know that real people are out there doing this extraordinary things. So life-changing.
Oh, yeah. Bob Snyder is a genius, and he has blessed so many lives across the country.
I met him at the DC Regionals. And they asked me to sing while I was getting my award. So I sung a little song, and it was such a blessing to see so many people. I mean, I used the velocity banking strategy and paid off like $26,000 in debt. I would have never paid off $26,000 in debt unless I came across this Renatus opportunity.
You know, it's set up to work against us, isn't it? The system, and having someone teach us how to better our lives, and so well worth the $20,000 to get the education. I mean, I remember my wife one time asking me, you know, Ron, if they were to give you your money back, would you walk away? And I was stunned. I said, no. She goes, what if they doubled your money back? And I said, no. Well, I appreciate that, Newton. Anybody else got something to share with us this morning? I keep hoping Michael's going to jump on and say that he's got the technical difficulties resolved, but sounds like it might be a little more far-reaching than that, and that's okay. I really hadn't prepared anything for myself to teach. If somebody's got something to share, jump off the line there. Chuck, I see you're unmuted.
Yeah, I got something. I really don't have any successes, but I got some stuff I learned.
Yeah.
So this year I was gonna do a fix and flip, and I couldn't come up with the money to get the house. And I hadn't really set up a business entity yet. And after failing that, I went and watched Business Credit, and I realized I could get more. I could build up my business credit and my personal credit and have 2 different access to credit. And I was like,
sure.
Well, so for 2019, I said I'm setting up my entity, and I'm going to start building my business credit so I have, 2 different places to get access to financing.
That's great. And how long have you been in, Chuck?
I've been in for a year, since December last year.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you came off and shared that with us. Where are you working out of?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Awesome.
Nebraska.
Well, excellent. Wish you continuing success through the new year. And anybody else got something to share with us?
Hey, this is Peter Schnebley.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, how are you, Ron?
Good. Where are you from, Peter?
I am from American Fork, Utah.
Ah, awesome.
And so I joined back in March and been learning a lot. We've almost done several different deals, but the one that we just got done now that I'm kind of excited about is in Snowflake, Arizona. We picked up a property. It's actually one that's in my family. But through using some of the strategies that we've learned, we're able to pick it up. It's going to be a long-term buy and hold with a bunch of fix-up, but we picked it up just after Christmas when we were down visiting family for basically out of pocket for us, $15.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
That doesn't happen out in the rest of the world, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Peter, this is Amanda Miller. We totally have a rental in Snowflake too.
Really?
So
Awesome.
We should chat sometime. That's awesome.
We should.
I live in Phoenix.
Cool. All right, Amanda, thanks.
Well, I appreciate that, you guys. And here was an opportunity to build your business and help out family, it sounds like, Peter.
Yep, for sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you for jumping off mute and sharing that with us. Anybody else got something to share?
Ron,
Yeah.
This is Berta Melgoza.
Hello.
I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Excellent.
I just want to share something. I was talking about with my son about the last year achievement and our strength and our weaknesses. And he just said, "Mom, you all the time tell us about to do things by ourselves, to be self motivated, to do something by ourselves."
How to be self-sufficient. Yeah.
And I just discovered that we cannot advance, we cannot reach our goals if we do everything by ourselves. So that is the value of the community. Our community where we can share our strengths with others and learn from others. So I really value all the efforts that everybody puts, small and big.
That is
Also,
so. Go ahead.
Yes, also, Bob Snyder just said that there are two main feelings. One is fear. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
One is fear, and the other is what he said, that we need to help people to avoid those feelings. And we have the weapons, all the tools to help people to avoid all those feelings that make people be submissive to the challenges, and just help them to be strong. And I believe the community is a great tool to do that.
I agree 100%. There's just something empowering about knowing, hey, if I've got questions, there are people I can call that have been through this before, whether it's involving a buy and hold or a rental or a fix and flip or, or multifamily. We don't come with these experiences in our bag, that we pack along with us in life, and to know that we've got people that have our back, and maybe they're busy too, but they at least can point us in the right direction, right?
Yes.
Perfect. And talk about tools. I'm glad you brought that up, because Renatus really does give us the tools that we can't get anywhere else. I never got these in college. Certainly didn't get them in high school. And it is, for years I told my wife, she'd say, how come we're living paycheck to paycheck? There are people out there doing really well. And I just shrugged my shoulders in desperation and say, I have no idea. I know there are people out there that are doing great things, and they know something I don't know, but I don't even know the questions to ask. let alone who to ask them of. And Renatus comes along, and I'd searched for years. My wife and I had years and years. Every time we'd go on vacation, she'd pick up a little brochure at the 7-Eleven or the convenience store of the real estate that was available in the area, and look for deals. And when we found them, we talked about, you'd go to the bank for financing. Where else did we know to go? And they'd say, well, you have to have 20% down, and it's like, well, that one just stopped. And I'd read books, I'd heard things, been to seminars that talked about, well, you use other people's money. Well, that sounds really good, but how do you do it? Reading a whole book about it, but I still didn't have the first idea where to start. And my son-in-law approached us and said, about 3 years ago now, and said, what would you think if I were to become a real estate investor? And I said, I think you better take me with you. Part of that was a genuine curiosity and interest and desire, and part of it was worried that he was going to one of these boot camps we'd been to so many times and paid a lot of good money to go to, about $3,000 for a 3-day weekend seminar. And the whole thing was an upsell, and they had so many products to sell you and so many mentors to sell you and no community to back you up. And so when he told me he was going on a Thursday night, and I said, I want to go with you. And he says, well, it's by invitation only. So let me see if I can get you an invitation. And fortunately, he was able to get that, and I was grateful to go. And I saw everything I had been looking for more than 30 years. And the best thing of all, they only had 2 products to sell. There was no upsell. There were no credit card machines across the back of the room. And, no one leaning on me or standing on my foot. You got to make a decision. No, I was able to ask questions. I was able to come again. I was welcomed to 2 or 3 events. And, and the funny thing was, I thought, I haven't got $20,000. Where am I going to come up with $20,000? And they showed me, Ron, you've already got it. And I did. It was astounding. And within 8 months, I was able to leave my job of 30 years. Great people I worked with, and the company had been nice to me. Certainly could have made worse choices in my life. But learning that I had more choices and more freedom was just extraordinary. And I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for you people that I get to rub shoulders with and talk with in the mornings. At any rate, I'm talking too much. Anything else you'd like to tell us? Anybody else have a success story or a thought that has been motivating or uplifting or helping them to build their business?
I just had something real quick. This is Peter again.
Yes, Peter.
Was it Amanda Miller?
Yes.
Who was talking? Okay. I just sent you a chat, Amanda. Thanks.
Amanda and Brandon are awesome folks.
Great.
You're going to meet new good friends there.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. Got someone else came off mute. Is it anything you want to say?
This is John Turpin, and from Phoenix, Arizona. I just want to say thank you to Amanda and Brandon. And Lisa and I are just very grateful for the whole business. We've been pretty excited about it. This year is going to be a great year. We've had some little challenges, but we're excited about the educational aspect of it because the mindset is so key in changing. So we've had great results with the taxes and everything that we've done with it, and just fired up about it. I mean, we employed our children, and it's really exciting on the end. So just learning about the tax benefits and talking to other investors across the states, it's pretty exciting. They just don't have what we have because we were part of that boot camp industry for a very short time. Thank God for Renatus. People that interacted with us and said, you can get out of that. And since then, we've just had just a great experience in the last year, actually 2 years. So we're going on our third year this year, and we're very excited about what's happening, working with Subject 2s with Brandon, and just really excited.
That's awesome. Tell me your name again.
John Turpin.
John Turpin.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you brought up so many good points, John. You mentioned there will be challenges. Yeah, every one of us are going to face challenges. But, you know, for speaking for myself, just knowing that I've got these tools and the community, I can get through them. I know where I can get the answers. I know who can tell me how to get to work on those, and I've got a better mindset. I know I can take these challenges head on and do them now. And then you talk about paying your kids. What a great opportunity to teach our children how not to pay for a mortgage for 30 years and put that money to better use, and how to build a business. It's excellent, John. Thank you. Charlene, did you have something else?
Yes, I wanted to piggyback off of what you and John just harped on. I say we run the rest of the call or the webinar just like that, solving challenges. What's everybody's challenges that they had in 2018? I mean, we got a whole community on the phone right now. So if somebody comes out and say, hey, look, leads were my challenge, or X, Y, and Z was my challenge, I'm sure somebody on the phone right here can assist them with it.
Excellent idea.
Well, I got a challenge. This is Newton again from Brooklyn, New York. I had a challenge that I was scared out my mind to put out these roadside signs. I said to myself, who in the world is going to call that? Why would I put that out? Somebody might see me. And my 5-star said, no. What happened was we have a weekly meeting on Sundays, and I went to the office and I saw this young guy. He must have been like 22. And he said, oh, I got my signs and I'm getting calls. So I looked around and said, wait, everybody else is doing signs except for me. So I said, Joe, how does this the sign thing work? So he told me if I get it, he would go with me to put it out. I said, you're going to go with me? He said, yes. He went with me. He put out the first one. We went to a second location. He said, you want to put out the next one, Newton? I said, no, because I was still scared. But after that, I got over like 200 signs are out, and Joe helped me put out the first one. So if you face the thing that you're scared of, and even today, being in for Renatus for almost 8 months now, when I go to put the sign out, I'm still scared. But I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. And I go and do it still.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you know someone's got your back and has been there before, isn't that a great resource?
Awesome.
Absolutely. We've got someone else off mute. I'm not sure how to say your name. Uilani? Am I saying that correctly?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm off of mute. I'm sorry. I didn't know you all could hear me coughing. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. Blessed to be here every day. I just wanted to thank everybody, because one thing that I noticed is everybody in Renatus, no matter what, when, how, or why, they are right there for you. And all you have to do is ask and show your commitment. And I really want to thank Arizona, because they've designed some programs that's right where I need to be and right where I need to start. And all I had to do was get consistent and really just reach out to the people, because that's what it's about, is others. And I love the unity and community. I miss Seattle. I'll be seeing them before too long. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, because there's so much, Ron, that goes on behind the scenes. Sometimes just keep everybody, if you pray, keep them in your prayers, or whatever your faith may be. Send good energy, because we see a lot on the forefront, but Mr. Snyder and the PAC and the FAB and so many other leaders and soon-to-be leaders do so much behind the scenes. And I want to thank all those people especially, too, because Renatus has been the one constant no matter what I've been through. So thank you, and I really look forward to working with everybody across this globe. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for believing in me and never giving up.
Uilani, where are you working out of?
Right now I'm in Arizona, and I'm working in the West Valley, Scottsdale, and Phoenix. and I'm going to be sending my guests here as well as a few of the other states. So thank you for asking.
Oh, you bet. And I'm glad you said you were sending guests in other states. That is, I mean, if we start, as Bob says, make that list of 200 and don't limit it to your neighborhood or your own community.
That's right.
This is countrywide, isn't it, Uliani?
That's right. And you know what? Let's make a difference from continent to continent. There are so many beautiful things that are happening because of this business. And I could go on and on and on, but I won't. I'm ready to listen, and I'm receptive and ready to put into action. So thank you so much for your consistency. I love hearing your voice every day. It's awesome. And you have a blessed evening and New Year.
You too. Thank you. Hayne, you've come off mute for a bit. Have you got a comment for us? Some insights? Anybody else that would like to come offline and share with us for a moment? This is open to anybody. And everybody has something valuable to say, I'm sure.
Oh man, I don't want to keep talking, but it's Newton again from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, Newton.
I want to share this because I think it can help someone, right? So I try to do social media. I'm not the tech savvy guy, but I know how to set up an account on social media. So I was on this app called Shaper, SHAPR, right? And I had to get over. It's like one of those things where you swipe left or swipe right to meet the person or, start a conversation. So I was scared out my mind to swipe right because what if the person says, yes, I want to meet you, or yes, I want to talk to you?
That's an awfully common fear. I understand.
I was stuck, Ron, I was stuck. So going to the meetings, and I took an ATM training with Hugh Zaretsky, and they did this weird confidence building thing, like go out and meet people on the New York City streets and get their phone number and their email address with their first and last name and come back to the office. And I did it. I stopped at a group of 6 construction workers. And I told them, hey, there's a millionaire friend of mine. And they said, oh, get out of here. Oh, man. But then I came back with some numbers and it built some confidence. So I got to a point where on that app, it gives you 15 free every day. So I would just swipe everybody. I didn't read anybody's profile. I just swiped for everybody. And we had sales run through our business through that app. And we had sales run through LinkedIn as well. And it's amazing because if I didn't take that step and say, you know what, I'm just going to do it, that would have never happened. And then I kind of say to myself, there's people's lives that's not going to be changed because you're holding on to your fear. So I had to learn to let it go. And God was good with that.
Say that again, Newton. That is so profound.
Yeah. There's people's lives out there that will not be changed because I'm holding on to my own fears. And I had to let it go. And I thank God for that.
Yeah. It's almost selfish if we don't tell people about it and go out and meet people. And you brought up a really cool point. A, Hugh Zaretsky, and B, going out the challenge to go out and talk to people. Sometimes it's just talking to people that's as scary as getting their contact information. But, you if you don't know what to say to a stranger, give them a compliment, something that's true. You don't want to give them false flattery or make up something. You can look at them and say, gosh, you've got such happy eyes. What do you do to make you shine like that? Or, gosh, they're a nice pair of shoes. Where can I pick up a pair like that? Or, it can go on and on and on. There's something good about everybody. And the challenge that we give one another from our trainings. I know when Hugh Zaretsky was doing an intensive here in Salt Lake City, and I was prepared to go in and make my notes, right? And then Hugh says, okay, this is what are the questions that, or how do you find the people? How do you find these properties? And he had us talk about finding motivated sellers on this instance, and he says we're going to put this in a search engine and on real estate, on Craigslist, or here in Utah, KSL.com is real popular among others. And he says, what phrases can we go in and look for, like need to sell, tender loving care, fixer upper? He says, each of you divide into a group of a few people and come up with 18 phrases or search words that we can use. And we did that for just a few minutes. So we come back and he starts putting them in, and gosh, up come property after property. And the first one that comes up, someone in the group goes, "Oh my gosh, that's my aunt's property. I didn't even know it was for sale." And so there was instant, energy just from this exercise that he had us participating in. And then he says, "Okay, now what are we going to, when we contact these people, what are we going to say?" And so we went through the things that we're going to ask or talk about. And he says, "Okay, now for the next 15 minutes, go out and contact at least 2 of the people that we found these properties for." And, I was able to call someone and have a real logical discussion and sound halfway intelligent. And it was just really fun. And I felt so empowered, and it was nothing I would ever done on my own. If I just watched a video and he says, "This is what you ought to do," I'd be nodding my head going, and no, it's this energy of a community and the one-on-one instruction that we had privileged to go to, and it is just astounding and empowering. And just knowing each other is empowering. And I'm so grateful for everybody. We've got 73 participants tonight. feels like night to me. I don't know why. But to be with a group this big, first thing in the morning to start your day, what an awesome experience. And the comments that we've heard. Does anybody else have something that they'd like to share with us? Well, what people are thinking, what they'd like to share. One more thought. One of the things that I've learned is you have to be professional. And in that is say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't use a lot of pronouns. Use specific examples, and don't use a lot of slang or jargon, that we use with one another. Use the full content so that it's clear, so that anybody can understand what we're saying, and don't. When it comes to profanity and filler sentences, we've learned from our Toastmaster opportunities, how to stop saying and things, crutches, verbal crutches. But if you say what you mean, you're not going to be using profanity. You're going to explain what's on your mind, and that will make people have more confidence in what you're saying, just because you are talking about true thoughts, true feelings. They can understand it. Nobody's offended if you don't use profanity, and it's a poor way to speak. And when I say poor, you look at the poor people out there, they have poor ways. And this is just one of those things that if you can say exactly what you mean, and it takes some practice, but I challenge you guys, practice today, say exactly what you mean, what's on your mind. If somebody says something that offends you, don't give just a trite exclamation. Say, that's very intriguing. Tell me more. What would make you say something like that? It takes practice. It takes a little bit of preparation, but it'll make a difference in your life. Hey, we've got someone else that's come off mute. What have you got to share?
Hi, this is Tamara Book out of New York and Philadelphia. And I have done this training before for Impact, and it just kind of came to my mind. So I figured I would jump on and just kind of add on to what you're talking about. So, as IMAs, and I apologize about the background noise, but as IMAs, one of our, main job is to help people overcome their objections, because, most of the time when they're giving us objections, it's because they really want to actually move forward with the product, with becoming part of our community and our training, but they can't get past their own objections in their mind. So it's our job to help them do that. And some of the ways, how do we do that for them? Some of the ways that we help them do that is, ask them questions, because they're a lot of the times, well, sometimes they will give us the direct objection, like, hey, I just don't know how to pay for that. I don't know where I'm going to get the money. That's always a big one. We for those of us who've been in IMA for a little bit, we know that, $20,000 sounds a little bit intimidating, but when they really truly understand the value of what we're offering, it's definitely a drop in the bucket. It's not a lot of money. Like you were saying earlier, Ron, you can't replace what we're offering. There's no money value on it because it's so it's so invaluable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I just, want to encourage you guys, for some of you people just starting out, I know personally, I used to get really intimidated by getting objections from people, and I used to get a little bit, maybe even defensive, but, I've come to learn that objections are a great thing, because that's people telling us, I really want to do this, but I'm afraid to move forward, and here's why, or I can't move forward, and this is the reason why. So the better we get at helping people handle and handling people's objections, the more people we're going to be able to help move forward with the business.
I like your attitude and the way you've looked at this. It's not a natural thing to say objections are a great thing. Tamara, I appreciate you saying that. Everything you said was great, but that one really made me smile broadly. Objections are a great thing, and one of the tools that I've learned since I've joined Renatus, and this is from community members, is the feel, felt, found. When you talk about that $20,000, I know my heart sunk the first time I heard that. I thought, this is what I want, and I don't have that kind of money, and nobody ridiculed me for feeling that way. They said they were there too, and what they found was that they had access, and they listed about 10 different ways that different people would have access to that $20,000. And it was the first lesson, really, that you take a challenge and you find a way to overcome it, right? And that's how you get success in life. And sure enough, I found I had a 401k, and I had access to those funds that I could go in and borrow it and apply it and start learning and become part of this community. And it really was something that I could do, and it was within my power. And I was astounded. And then within a few short months, I started financing other people's fix and flips. And that is something I never dreamt that I could do. My thought was go out and try to do it on my own, right? We don't have to. We've got a community. And Tamara, I appreciate what you said.
Hey, Ron, it looks like we got a question on the chat.
Thank you.
Would you or someone else be able to answer that? From
Let's
Rocky.
see. Ron, can you explain the new IMA fee? Also, if you don't pay today, does the price go up, or do your overrides get cut off until you pay? Just looking for clarification. I'm still a student. I'm not an instructor, and I don't work for Renatus, but I can tell you what I understand. And if I understand it incorrectly, I'm sure there's someone here online that can set me straight, and I would welcome that. For, the new IMA fee, it's going up to, I believe, $195. And it has to be done by tonight. From what I understand, if you don't get it in tonight, you can still pay tomorrow, but you might have to start over with your, you lose your the people that you've signed up and the overrides that you're entitled to for signing people up and marketing. Thank you, Anna. You said it's $197 is what it's going to. And what do you get for that $197? You get access to the community, to the education. Of course, you paid for that, but you get access to the new Helios, which is going to facilitate getting your education, keeping track of it. It's going to offer so many new benefits as far as taking care of your business and working your leads and keeping them organized and giving automatic texts as they go through so that they don't feel alone. Even if you can't get back to them for a day or two, as they progress, they will get automatic texts. This can all be set up. And if you don't understand the technology, there's someone in your group that does. We can reach out to somebody and ask. But I don't know about if you pay after today into January or later, if you get your overrides back. If there's someone that knows, let me know. To me, I think that the 197 is a bargain price, and I hope that everyone's in a position to do that. If you haven't done it already, hopefully most everybody has already paid their new IMA registration fee. Anybody have any more clarification on that?
Yeah, would you risk everything with Renatus that you built for lousy $197? Yeah, definitely got to get in by midnight tonight.
Absolutely. That's how I feel. I just wouldn't risk that. Thank you, Pete. And for people that have just signed up this year, depending on what time of the year you've done it, if it's more recent, you don't even pay anything. If it's in the last few months, if you're a little bit beyond that, you pay a portion of that if it was right at the first of the year. And Uliani, thank you. The fees right now, or the fee for renewal, I think is $125, and it's going up tomorrow. So $125 in my book is a little easier to pay than the $197, but you still get all the same great benefits. Anybody have any more questions or input on that? Please come off mute.
Hey Ron, this is Geraldine. I just wanted well, first I want to tell everyone thank you. I am so grateful for you all being on the call today and also being a part of this group that has grown enormously since I've started. It's been fantastic to see the successes having. I wanted to address Uilani's question about the 125 and maybe you can share the difference between the IMA fee and maybe she's talking about the 125 she pays for the essentials. So since she put monthly in there, I think it might be a little bit of a confusion what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah, your essentials, to get the education, of course, is $2,000, and roughly $2,000. It's a few dollars less than that, but it's roughly $2,000 for the extreme combo. It's roughly $20,000. We have been told that this price is going to go up when billing becomes active, and of course, the blessing with that is that it can help people that can't come up with it all at once and know that they've got a regular monthly payment that might be easier to come up with. But they will pay a little bit more than if they have cash. There is a cash discount that will bring that price back down to roughly $2,000 or $20,000. I hope that's helpful. There's a monthly or the yearly 125. So it's not a monthly 125, but a yearly right now it's going up to 195. And let's see, and then the 125 a year or 195 a year starting tomorrow is for IMAs that don't have their education yet but want to participate in the marketing. And so on top of that, in each area, we've got the people that are putting events together, and we want to pay our fair share, right? We don't want to just have a handout forever. Often there are scholarships that let you go a few months until you start building your business, but we ask the people that are participating in our groups participate with a business builder fee in their area or where they're bringing guests and stuff regularly, so that we pay our own way, so that the event organizer doesn't cover the full tab on renting the room and the chairs and getting things set up and clean up and everything that goes with holding an event. So there's that monthly business builder fee. So I'm not aware of a $125 a month, unless that's the builder fee for your area. Does that, does that help?
Sorry, maybe you're talking about the Renatus iOS, the monthly, because there is Renatus iOS.
Okay, I hadn't thought about that. Thank you, Peter. Yes, we do have access to a great software, which is $125 a month, and that isn't so much bringing new students in. That is access to finding properties. You could go on and on about the iOS. LaShawn says they're talking about the IMA only, and that isn't, I don't believe, $125 a month. I think it's right now per year, and then that's going up to $197 tomorrow.
Great job sorting all of that out. And it made me laugh because I realized how many different twists and turns we might have within all of the different communities across the nation. And and like you said, the different communities may charge a different amount. It just depends on the setting and the costs that they incur for their own organization rooms. So the $125 a month, Uilani, may be what is charged for your local builder fee, or my apology there. And the $197 is going to be the annual IMA fee that we pay to Renatus directly to be able to license our marketing the education.
I appreciate that, Geraldine. It can get confusing, and fortunately in our community there's always someone we can call and reach out to, and most of them will certainly be more knowledgeable than I am when it comes to each individual area.
Yeah, I think you bring a good point that you need to contact a person in your own community to get the clarity on what the monthly fee is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we're coming down to the last 5 minutes. Anybody else have something that you can share with us that you feel might be helpful?
I got something, Ron.
Yes, Charlene.
All right. So one thing that has helped also is gratitude, my friend. Being grateful. I write
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Every single day, ever since EMT. I know in EMT we did 50, which was a bit challenging sometimes, but it kind of helped me with a normal routine of just writing down gratitude and being grateful. So now every day I do 10 things that I'm grateful for in a composition notebook, and my goal is to fill up as many composition notebooks as possible with gratitude. So yeah, gratitude.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Great point, Charlene. And you know what? When you've got a good attitude, things get easier. It is just amazing. It's like greasing the skids, you know. You just reduce that friction of the world that it tries to say, no, you can't do that, and you can't do that. You'll never get there. You'll never be able to do that. A good attitude is just like greasing the skids. You still have to apply the mental power and the elbow grease, but it's easier to get there with a good attitude. And what better way than to keep it in a journal? I'm glad you said that, Charlene. It is something that I did for a while, and I want to start again, and I promise you today that I'm going to start today. And when you talked about in the elevated marketing training courses, we're doing 50 a day, and that is overwhelming almost at first, and you're thanking people for toothpicks and the bristles on your toothbrush, and just anything you can reach for. But like anything, as you start looking for it, and it becomes easier, and you're better able to express the gratitude, I think. And as you express gratitude in your journal, express it to the people you meet too. Little things that I found myself starting to do when I was calling somebody on the bank, about a question about my account or something, and they were very helpful. And then they say, is there anything else I can do for you today? I'd say, yes, please. Would you tell your supervisor I think you deserve a raise? And, you know, you just hear them melt almost. I don't think people get complimented enough when they put out there. And, yes, it's expected, but gosh, it's appreciated too. And you can pass that one on to people that help you at the store and customer service or the checkout stand, servers and waiters at your restaurants, just everyone that you come in contact with. And it's one of those things that it shines a positive light on them, but it still reflects back on you, believe it or not, and it opens up instantly almost for a relationship. And that's important, because relationships are one of the 5 capitals that we work, or currencies we work with. And you build that relationship. Next time you go into the store, the restaurant, talk at the bank, and they can say, how are you doing? And they really want to know, because you're a neat guy. You make them feel good. And you can say, guess what I just learned? And you can share something with them and open that dialogue. And you never know. They may become a guest. They may not. But, you can spread happiness wherever you go. And I wish you success with that. Gosh, this hour has gone faster than I ever dreamed. Especially, I did not expect to be hosting for an hour. and that has been just a blessing and a privilege because of you guys and your participation and your being here. Well, thank you. Happy New Year to everybody. Go out there and spread that gratitude and good positive vibrations wherever you go. Charlene, got something else to say before we go?
Happy New Year, everybody. Love you all.
Happy New Year.
I had a quick note. I think a lot of people can relate to this. Before I got signed up with Renatus, I was actually living in a poverty mindset. I didn't even realize it until I got into this and realized that there was actually a totally different mindset you could live in, which is an abundance mindset, a gratitude mindset. It's like I didn't even realize these other mindsets existed, and I was living in this one mindset, not even realizing that I had.
It's how we've been taught, isn't it, Chuck?
Yeah, it's totally awesome.
And
crazy.
It is awesome.
It's existed for years, and I had no idea they were there.
There's a liberation and freedom that comes from this new mindset, and I'm so grateful for it. Absolutely. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I want to say thanks to everybody. Go out there and have a fantastic day. I know you can just bring out the best in everybody that you come in contact with. Use that 3-foot rule and spread the joy. Thanks. Happy New Year, everybody.
You did an awesome job. Happy New Year.
Thanks, LaShawn.